Hi everyone, my name is Jim Carrey. I'm an actor, comedian, screenwriter, and producer. You have all seen me in my most popular movies, The Mask, Batman Forever, Ace Ventura Pet Tracking, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, Dumb and Dumber, Liar, Bruce Almighty, The Truman Show, Man and the Moon, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I also have a lot of other nominations and awards. For example, I am the winner of the 2 Golden Globes, a BAFTA nominee, and am one of the highest paid comedians in the world. But today we will not talk about my achievements. I want to tell you about a fascinating story from my life. It happened when I played the lead role in a popular movie, The Grinch Stole Christmas. The film was shot in 1999 and 2000. The fairy tale town exterior decorations were made in the Universal Studios' 3,000 square foot outdoor space, and it was the biggest and the most expensive decoration set that has ever been constructed in the Universal Studios ever. It was a special moment for me. I spent all my childhood with this magic character. My Christmas would not get started before all of our family would sit down and watch the magic animation film about Grinch and his magic Christmas story. I can honestly tell you that I knew how to play Grinch from my very childhood. And of course, this character was very special. He was very different from just anybody else. The story was not just another Christmas tale. The story was about people who believe that they do not want to enjoy other people's company, and they believe that they do not want to have fun with other people. But the truth is, we all want it. Sometimes one might fall into the trap of hating himself. He might lock himself in a cave, but in the end, Grinch would open his heart to love and kindness, and this would transform all of his life. The writer who wrote this amazing story is Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss. Ever since he wrote this novel, he would refuse any offer to sell the rights for his book for film adoption. He finally died in 1991. And then later on, in 1998, his wife decided to run an auction to sell the rights for the movie The Grinch Stole Christmas to the movie studios. And she also provided special terms and conditions for it. And the most intriguing condition was the choice of an actor who would play Grinch. The contract condition specifically said that the actor who would play Grinch should be a top celebrity like Jack Nicholson, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, or Dustin Hoffman. I was super proud to be included in this great actor portfolio, and I honestly believe that all of these three other actors were so much greater than me, but it was a sign from above. And finally, they chose me for this role. At this moment, I felt that all my earlier life paid off for this moment. As I took such a long road towards success and publicity, I finally found myself at a point to fulfill my childhood dream. So I accepted this role proposition and told the film producers that I want to play this role. And then it was time for the real fun to start. Playing a star part in this film turned out to be a total nightmare for me. The film was made in 1999, and there were no high-tech technologies back then. All the magic was done by good old makeup. I looked at my character in the sketchbooks, and it looked just amazing. But at the end, I would have to go through an endless and torturing process of reincarnation every day. To do my best and turn into a green color Christmas character, I would have to spend more than 8 hours in the makeup chair every day. I had to wear my spandex suit and dyed yak wool suit, and it was excruciating. I also had to wear the bright yellow contact lenses, and my eyes hurt a lot. I was so exhausted that I would rather sell my soul to the devil than to go through a 3-month torture of filming in this hideous costume. They would literally burn me alive under this complex makeup with a lot of layers of wool on top, sweating me to guts out of it. On my first day of film shooting, when I got all this makeup and costume on me, I just could not physically perform. I wore my suit for about 8 hours and then I got back into my trailer and I just fell on my bed. I told Ron, the film director, that I could not physically move. I felt like I was buried alive. He tried to cheer me up and told me jokes, and he said that I would get used to it. but I just would not listen to anybody. It felt like I was in a torture chamber, and I would not agree to play Grinch no matter what. So we needed to find a solution to this deadlock. We could not just cancel the movie and stop the film's shooting schedule. The whole project was a danger. So we all thought hard, what could we do? And then all of a sudden, one of our team folks came up with a brilliant idea to hire an expert who specially trains CIA agents to resist torture. That's how I finally managed to play Grinch. Just try to imagine this, a CIA agent specially hired for me to help me out going through my pain. It was totally out of the box. At some point, the secret of ours leaked out to the journalists, and then they made it into a big public story, and it got into the yellow press and further led to all kind of crazy rumors. Some people said that I had to cooperate with the CIA as the global mafia network was after me, and I was put on a witness protection program. Other people said that I'm not an actor at all, but an undercover CIA agent who had to play an actor role for a special top secret project and a top global investigation. They thought I was a sort of James Bond grimacing at the camera, and it made the whole world laugh. It was such a total nonsense, and the reality was so much more simple and down to earth. We just had to make this movie at any cost. That's why we hired a CIA expert. Our training sessions were absolutely hilarious. The CIA agent would tell me, go and eat whatever you want to be in a good mood. If you feel you're about to burst out, do some yoga, meditate, or try a new position, or just watch TV. So I followed his advice. I would always chew on something on the playground, and the episode when the hostess of the town of Dor treated me to candies came in easy and natural for me. I followed all his other advice as well. I watched TV when I had free time. I meditated, did my yoga, and practiced my tranquility. Another thing that my CIA teacher would tell me was to find someone who could give me a good slap on the face, or as an alternative, I could kick myself on the leg or just take a smoke. In fact, he told me to smoke as much as I could to get distracted. So one day I was sitting on the bridge and I was punching my leg while I was smoking. I also had to smoke through a special device, a special holder for cigarettes, a huge mouthpiece so that my artificial green hair would not get damaged. My green hair was all made in big curls, and I was always nervous that one day it would just choke me to death. It was a real nightmare, but I kept telling myself I'd just do it for the kids. So I talked to myself and I tried to do my work the best way I could to play the guy who wanted to steal Christmas under the bright filming spotlights. So that's how I struggled every single day of my work with all my makeup and my torturing suit, and I did everything possible to keep on and push through. Sometimes we had some really funny moments when we had breaks during our work. For example, once I got a severe panic attack. I could not stay inside and I went out. I decided to have a smoke. And it all happened right when they were shooting a film about dogs. When the dogs saw me, they got mad and they barked like crazy. They got totally freaked out, so I had to run away from them. That was quite a crazy picture. A green shaggy freak with a smoke pipe in his mouth, running from a dozen of barking dogs. Another time I fell asleep in my dressing room, right in my heavy green suit. And when I woke up and went outside, it was already dark and the lights were switched off in our filming pavilions. And then all of a sudden, I terribly frightened our local security guard. He was an alcoholic and he often came at work drunk. So when he suddenly saw me that night, he got so scared and he screamed out loud and ran away as fast as he could. Well, no wonder he got so scared. I looked so horrible that I could scare any person to death at that very moment. The next morning, this guy, a security guard, told everyone that he had seen green devils last night and everyone laughed at him. And then when he realized it was me, he swore that he would stop drinking once and for all. Then there was another story that happened to me during my stress therapy, when I got totally exhausted from wearing my costume all the time. One day we had a guided children tour to our studio, And at some point, two kids got lost and they wandered in the studio trying to find their teammates. And then all of a sudden they saw a Santa Claus who slapped a green furry goblin in the face. And the next moment, suddenly the goblin talked with the voice of Jim Carrey. Of course, it was me. I saw the kids too and I decided to follow them. And when they finally found their classmates on a tour, they told their group lead that Jim Carrey misbehaved and Santa slapped him and turned him into a green monster. But their group lead told them it was all jokes. He said they made it all out. He said it's impossible for Jim Carrey, a world star, to play the role of some disgusting green monster. You should have seen his eyes when I suddenly came out from the corner and I told them that I was inviting him and all their group of children to the film premiere. Looking back, I can honestly tell you that it was one of the most difficult, but also the most amazing filming experiences in my life. My role transformation took a total of 35 days, and I put on a costume about 100 times. Thanks to the help of the CIA expert and my willpower and character, I finally managed to make it from the beginning to the end. Although it was a total nightmare, I was really scared that my face would be forever gone if they would apply this heavy makeup to me every day. It was so painful. I still cannot believe that I had to go through all of this torture for so long. After the first weeks of filming, I learned to meditate. My spirit left my body and I was visiting Eddie Murphy, who was getting dressed up in his neighboring dressing room. It took me 3.5 hours every day to go through the makeup, and then another 3.5 hours to put on my filming suit. I was feeling totally exhausted by then and was about to just get mad, and I told myself like a mantra, I'm still alive, I'm still alive. Well, the good thing is, it all got so much better when the film crew finally announced action. Then it was time for great fun, and it turned out to be an amazing movie. We loved it a lot. I wish this great story about Grinch would be popular all over the world. It's really amazing. This is the movie that every person can understand. I still remember how Grinch was important to me when I was a kid, and I hope kids all over the world would enjoy this story as well. You know, it's been almost 20 years since this film was released, but I still remember every day how we made this movie and what it was like to play the Grinch. After this movie was released, it was a great success. Whenever I would meet with families with kids, the parents would always point at me and say to their kids, "Do you know who this is? This is Grinch." And then I would make a Grinch grimace and growl. I need to find a way to cancel Christmas. And then everybody would have a good laugh. Here's the deal. Would you agree to go through a makeup and dressing process for 7 hours every day with the only goal to bring joy to children? Yes or no? Did you like my story? Write in the comments what you think about it. Give me your likes and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.